Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever or whenever you might be listening to this podcast from. My name is Arise Michael Godfrey, and I want to welcome you back to our special podcast on life in the university. All right, it's been a very, very beautiful time. All right, by the way, we had to go for 1 week. 1 week break, and I'm so sure you enjoyed the break, and I'm sure you were able to catch up with our previous recordings. All right. We started a very interesting podcast, right? Talking about life university is a gift. All right. A beautiful episode that help us understand, the four priceless gifts that the university life gives to every student. All right. It's been a very beautiful, beautiful, beautiful journey so far. Right. We started our discourse talking about the first gift, right, which is the gift of solving, the gift of creating solutions and solving problems. All right. We then shared about the gift of friendship and relationship. Some weeks ago, I shared on, the third gift, all right, the third gift, which is the gift of exposure. And I help us to understand, that this is really, really an important skill we can all develop. All right. The gift of exposure is that very important skill we get to develop on our journey as students in, the university. And of course, through this gift of exposure comes, communication, adaptability, critical thinking, solution thinking, and of course, problem solving. And we concluded that week you know, that by helping us understand the different types of exposure and how they can impact our lives. All right, so today we're going to continue on that very note. All right, I'm going to be sharing on the last gift, the fourth gift that the university life gives to every student, and that is nothing else but the gift of discipline. All right, the gift of discipline. Now, this is not a word most students like. All right. In fact, I can assure you that most students dread, that very word, discipline. It's not a very, very common word, that is embraced or accepted in the student community as you would other kind of words. All right. The word discipline, I personally believes invoke a certain kind of fear into the heart of many students. All right, once a student hears that a certain lecturer is disciplined, immediately they begin to feel uncomfortable. You know why? We found a way of associating the term discipline with being too strict or even too wicked, but this is really not the case. All right, this is really not the case. So I want to help us in this last gift or in the fourth gift that the university life gives to every student. I want to walk us through this very gift of discipline. All right, this very gift of discipline. And of course, I'm going to help you define the word discipline anew so you don't get to associate, the word with, you don't get to associate the word with being too strict, too principle, all right, or associating or liking your teachers or your lecturers to be too strict, too wicked. Some of those terms we get to associate them with, at the mention of that word discipline. I'll try to see how I can help us understand that in its most, simplified way. All right. Now, of course, discipline means different things for different people. Okay. When you meet a footballer and you ask him, what do you think discipline is? Or tell us what discipline means to you. I'm very sure the footballer will tell you, okay, for me, what discipline means to me is that I have to train every day in a week. All right, I have to continually train. I have to improve my shot power. I have to improve my ability to run. I have to improve my ability to pass the ball accurately, to shoot the ball accurately. All right, to be able to spot my team member, and get the ball across to him. All right, to run faster than my opponent will, to learn how to tackle, my opponent whenever they hold the ball, to understand the psychology of football and the rest of that. Now, this might be his definition of discipline, all right? And it involves training every day, running every day, trying to improve his shooting ability and the rest of that. Now, this is discipline to a sportsman, all right, or to a footballer. Now, when you go to another walk of life, all right, or another field of life, and you engage um a military personnel and you ask him what does discipline means to you, I'm very sure you have another, another classic definition of, the term discipline. And I'm just trying to think, on an assumption. All right, I'm sure the military man will tell you, well, what discipline means to me is that I have to be up very, very early every morning. I have to stay at alert late in the night. All right, I'm a security personnel, so I must sleep less. All right. I must be very alert to whatever might be happening to my environment. All right. I must be able to go through certain kind of training. All right. Both, during the orientation training that happens during the orientation course. All right. And even after the orientation course, I must be so, so disciplined with timing, because if I don't act on timing, certain security threats might, might find their way and might affect the lives of people, property, and the rest of that. Now, this might be, what I think might be discipline in the minds of, a military personnel. Let's talk about one. All right. How about a pilot? All right. So maybe, discipline for a pilot might be, I am, once I am in flight, all right, I must engage my mind 100% on flying this very plane, all right. Nothing else is important. Nothing else is worth my time. Nothing else is worth my attention than the life of the people, all right, who I now carry, all right, and who I'll be carrying, who I'll be flying for a period of time. So discipline might just be likened to 100% focus, 100% attention for the pilot. All right. How about the medical doctors? All right. Discipline for them might be understanding, trying to give their time to understanding, certain issue around their client's health, all right, or maybe probably during the process of surgery, all right. It could also mean 100% discipline, 100% focus, rather 100% focus, 100% attention, why the surgery process, of course, continues or goes on. Of course, you don't want to have an indisciplined doctor or an indisciplined medical doctor, a medical team, all right, who will be divided, who will have a divided attention during, the process of, the surgery. That's that I'm very sure you wouldn't want to find yourself in that situation. As I recount this experience, a story comes to mind. All right, I think I was surfing the internet just the other day, and of course, I did hear this experience once more just a few days ago. All right. So while I was surfing the internet, I saw a picture of, was it a picture now? Okay, a video, a short video of a medical team, and of course, in that medical team, um, there was a husband, this husband, and this very beautiful couple, a husband and a wife. All right. And while the surgical operation was going on, all right, while the procedure continued, the wife looked the husband face and tell him we have to talk about this. And the husband was like, the husband was like, I don't understand. Do you know what is happening here? Talk about what? And the wife said, we have to talk about this. I don't get to see you at how. I don't get to see you at home. I don't get to see you when I need to see you. You're always jumping from this operation to the next operation and the next operation. We have to talk about this issue now. And the husband was like, of course, well, this is not the right time. And she's like, I need it. I need a divorce. We have to just go separate ways. And the husband was like, do you understand? Do you understand what we are doing here? I mean, somebody's life is at stake here. And all of those conversation, all of those conversation, while those conversation was going on, the patient who was going to be operated on suddenly realized that my life is in trouble. All right. And I'm thinking what you might be thinking. I think he would just stand up and and tell both parties, I think I would want to live better. I would want to leave off this operation. When you're done fixing yourself together, you can call on me, and I'm sure this is just on a lighter note to help you understand that every single field of work, requires that value of discipline. All right. Now I've helped you understand the different areas or the different concept of discipline for different professionals. All right. Now I want to now help you understand what discipline means for you as a student. All right, what is discipline for a student? What is discipline for a student? If we have said discipline is a gift or one of the gifts that the university life gives to every student, I think the very first stage we should start from, all right, is to describe or define the concept of discipline, not in the doctor's language, not in an engineer's language, all right, not in a pilot language or footballer language, all right, not in any of those languages or any of those fields, but rather in a student or from a student perspective, all right, or from a student language. And I've defined here that discipline for students is the consistent and intentional practice of behaviors and habits that support the academic success. All of these other lines, you see all of them is just built on this very first line. That for a student, it is the consistent and intentional practice of behaviors, one, habits, two, that in turn support the academic success. So put it this way, discipline for you as a student is that consistent and intentional practice of certain behaviors, of certain attitudes, all right, or certain habit that would in turn support your academic success. All right. And now it goes beyond your academic success, all right? It also affects or touches your personal growth and, of course, your overall well being, all right? It is the process of developing certain attitude. Your certain attitude that is pivot, all right, so pivot to the course you are currently doing. There are certain attitudes, certain values, certain behaviors you must develop if you must become an excellent student, all right. And some of those behaviors I can tell you off the top of my head: waking up early, all right, it's just one of those behaviors. Setting your priorities right, applying the keys and the laws of academic excellence, all of those things, all of those, each laws or each of those keys, you have to become something you've never become. All right. You must do something you've never done. And you don't just do it today and stop doing it. You must do them consistently. There comes in, therein comes the law of consistency. All right. We simply say average students will do the things excellent students will do every day. Average students will do someday the things excellent students will do every day. And the things excellent students will do every day, average students will do someday. Do you understand? Now, this is, certain consistent behaviors you must adapt, you must develop, all right, you must imbibe to support your academic success. It is all about making conscious choices, even when they are challenging. All right, I was one time reading a book from John C. Maxwell, and he helped me understand that, see, we are all a product of our choices, all right, and whenever we get to make choices, we get to develop character, all right. When we make choices, certain choices over time, repeatedly over a period of time, what we have also done, either consciously or unconsciously, is that we have developed a new character. For example, I have a choice of waking up early and I have a choice of sleeping all through the day. Regardless of whichever choice I make, there's a character that is built in me, or within that very choice I might be making for a period of time. For example, if I wake up early in the morning every day consistently over a period of time, I will develop the character of waking up early, setting my priorities from the start of the day. However, if I become, so low, sleeping all through the day, I become lazy, and laziness is a character. I hope you know laziness is a bad character. So whatever choices you make, all right, it's all about making conscious choices, all right, even when they are challenging, all right, even when they are very challenging. And I believe the student life is, of course, very challenging. There are certain things you must navigate yourself through during the university space, all right. There are certain constraints you will definitely experience, not all the time, but there are certain constraints you have to go through. For example, financial constraint is always a part and parcel of the student life. All right, because certain times you don't know how much you are going to spend, or you don't have the right estimation of what you are going to be spending. All right, so certain times you find yourself around, you know, lack, insufficiency, and the rest of that. All right, one other challenge is, the challenge of timing. Many students, unconsciously don't know how to use their time, and that, of course, it's a big challenge because all grades, all performance are built with time. All right, so let's go on the definition. So it says, it's about making a conscious choice even when they are challenging, to align with your goals and your values. Now this includes managing your time effectively, like as I just said. All right, managing your time effectively, prioritizing taxes, maintaining focus, respecting yourself and others. All right, persevering through obstacles. Now, there's something I need you to also understand. Discipline isn't about rigid rules or punishment. I think that's another misconception we have about discipline. It has nothing to do with, rigid rules or punishment. Sometimes when we talk about the word, when we mention the word discipline, somebody's already thinking, I have to die, I have to break myself. No, no, no. That is not necessarily the concept of discipline. All right. In fact, by my breakdown of this very word discipline, I'm so sure you will be, in weeks to come, you'll be so happy to embrace all angles of this very word. So discipline isn't about rigid rules or punishment. It is all about developing self-control, all right? All about developing responsibility. It's the ability to make the best use of your time, your talent, your opportunities, all right, as it empowers you to learn, grow, and achieve your potential both inside and outside the classroom. All right. And this is how I see the university space and the time you get to spend there. I feel it's a space where you begin to learn and develop certain cultures of discipline that will go a long way in helping you in the nearest future. All right, not just discipline that will help you in the now, but certain discipline that will help you in 5 years to come, in 10 years to come, 15, 20 years to come. Do you understand? For example, your class attendance in itself is a test of discipline because you are told to show up every day in class, all right, so you can pen down your attendance so you can take lectures. Now, that very act of taking lectures, that very act of, showing up every day in class, it's a discipline you are cultivating. And that discipline is part of the reasons why you won't quit going to work after Monday, Tuesday. Do you understand? So you now know, okay, you've been employed to work from you were once a student who would attend lectures from Monday to Friday. Now you're now employed, all right, you now work from Monday to Friday. It's the process of discipline, or this discipline you form during your student time or your time in university, that will guide you, all right, that will guide you, that will shaping you, all right, or even strengthen you to want to show up in your place of work Monday, Tuesday down to Friday. Do you understand? All right. Do you understand what I mean by that? So it's a test of discipline. All right. And I want to begin today by sharing some of the discipline you get to develop, either knowing or without even knowing, during your time in the university. All right. I'll share two. And in our next podcast, I will share, you know, I'm going to be sharing. I'm going to break it down two in the next coming week so we can effectively deal with them. So as I outline this discipline, I would need you, and as I share on them, I would need you to take note of each one so you can now begin to develop, all right, or strengthen your grip on them. Now, it's very true that one can't be disciplined in all areas of our life. That's true, but I'm so sure that one can, strengthen the grip of that very discipline. You might not be 90% disciplined in all areas of your life, but I'm so sure that in certain areas, or you can always improve the grip of your discipline. All right. So if it was previously in 20%, you can always increase or improve that grip, all right, to 30, to 40, to 50, or to 60, all right. in certain or in all areas. All right, this is what I believe. And in today, maybe I should go through the outline, then briefly I will just give you the definition. I'll just briefly walk you through two. So we have the discipline of decision and choices, we have the discipline of time management, we have the discipline of friendship, we have the discipline of study, discipline of consistency, discipline of tolerance, discipline of emotional management, and we also have the discipline of self-care and discipline of finance. All right, discipline of service, discipline of adaptability, discipline of value. So 12 disciplines we have there. All right, so let me start with the discipline of time management. All right, discipline of time management. Now, within the university space, I have always argued that there's always a right time for everything. Do you understand? There's always the right time for everything. And now, when we talk about the discipline of time management, I go back to the words I just gave you a few moments ago, that all grades, all excellent grades, and all average grades are all built with time. All functions on the basis of how you are able to manage or how you're able to utilize your time. Now, I can predict the performance of a student who is not using his time effectively. I don't need to see your grades. I don't need to hand you the exam scripts, all right, or the question paper. I don't need to mark your script. Just seeing how you manage, how you are able to manage your time effectively, all right, or how you are also able to manage your time, I can already predict accurately without any ounce of failure what your academic performance will be. Why? Because this is a set rule that all excellent grades and all average grades, all performance are all function of time. If you find a student who is so meticulous with how he uses his time, all right, understand that it's the right time to study. All right, understand that 80% of my time must be given to activities that will directly contribute to my academic performance. All right, why 20% of my timing might go to other areas, might not have a significant contribution to my academic performance. Such a student will easily come out with excellent grades and with excellent performance, compared to a student who will only give, all right, who will give 80% of his time to activities or tasks or events that would not contribute directly to his performance, and rather will give only 20% of his time to things that will contribute significantly to his academic, success or his academic performance. Now, when you weigh both students, student A and student B, you can never compare the academic performance. There would always be this wide gap that would always exist between student A and student B. And that gap that exists is the gap of time management. And to bridge that very gap, the student must be disciplined in his or her approach of time management. Some time ago, while we had, our conference last year, 2024, in August, I was speaking to the students and I asked them a very simple question. I said, why speaking on the right timing? So I asked them, I said, would you rather go for hiking or study? And the whole audience burst out with this very response. It was very funny. In fact, as I tried to recount it, I'm trying to help myself not to laugh out loud. You know, when I said, would you want to rather go for hiking or study? Everybody shouted top of their voices, hiking. I was like, okay, all right. Would you rather go for a surprise party for your friend or attend a fixed lecture? And everybody shouted, surprise party. I said, that's serious. And I think I went on by saying, okay, would you rather develop your notes or rather watch a movie or see a movie? And everybody shouted, see a movie. Then I knew there was a problem. Why it sounded so funny, all right? That's already a problem. You know why it's a problem? The timing you're going to be using for hiking would have been invested in a place of studying. The timing you were using for a surprise party would have been used for something that would improve your academic performance significantly. The timing you'll be using for, seeing a movie would have been used for something that would significantly improve your academic performance. And now, this is where I believe us students miss it. When we fail to develop this discipline of time management, we sometimes we feel, oh, it's just this one time. There's this illusion. Oh, don't worry, I'm just going to see this movie. And when I'm done seeing the movie, I'm going to read my book. But you understand that these things doesn't always match up. All right. It doesn't always follow up. Once you're done seeing a movie, I'm so sure the next thing in your mind will be, what do I eat? I'm hungry. Because, of course, after seeing a movie, you want to eat, or even during seeing a movie, you want to eat. And I can assure you that the chances of seeing the next movie is much more in place than picking up your notebook to read after seeing a movie. So I'm so sure after you've seen movie one, you're likely to make an attempt to see movie two. All right, or to even see movie three, or to even see movie four down to five. All right, rather than trying to pick up your book. Now, when you do this over a period of time, you've developed the wrong sense of discipline, all right? And you would have to develop the right discipline, all right, to time management, knowing that all your grades will be built on time. So this is usually, what I would often share when I share about time management is down to the law of priority, all right? 80% of your time should be given to things that would definitely contributes significantly to your academic performance, while 20% of your timing can go for other things. All right, can go for other things that might have, least significance to your academic performance. But there should never be a time where you will not be replacing, 80% of your time meant for study for fun. All right, or 20% meant for fun, all right, or other activity for your academics. 20% is too small. Is too small. 20% of your time is too small to give to your academics. All right. And 80% of your time is too much to invest in fun activities that would not contribute, significantly to your academic performance. So this is really, the discipline of time management that we all must cultivate. And when I begin to talk about time management more, deeply, I get to talk about certain things you must do, certain things you must avoid. All right. And they are oftentimes related to the laws of focus. When I begin to talk about the laws of focus, how that if you want to develop the right timing, if you want to develop the right sense of discipline with regards to time management, you must admit that you've been procrastinating. All right, admit that you've been procrastinating. And when you are able to admit you've been procrastinating, I can assure you that you've you've in a way, all right, you've in a way solved 50% of the problem. Do you understand? Because I believe when we begin to waste time, we also begin to, procrastinate on important events or important activity. I'm just trying to open up the laws of priority here, just to walk you through some basic steps that I'm so sure will help you through. All right, I'm so sure we guide you through. All right, we guide you through your time. All right, so I firstly, you have to admit that you're procrastinating. All right, and secondly, you have to now focus and direct 20% of your effort to the things that matters. All right, you must eliminate distraction. Distraction are in different forms. Distraction can be in your gadget. Distraction can come in forms of friendship. Distraction can come in form of emotions, can come in form of financial constraint. All right, but you must develop that capacity to turn off distraction. Specifically, distraction that comes from phones and from friends. And I would always maintain that friends can be said no, and phones and devices can be turned off. All right, phones can be turned off, gadget can be turned off. Friends that are likely to cause distractions can be told no. All right, so this is just so important. All right, when we talk about the gift of discipline. So I'm going to post the podcast today, and of course, when we come back next week, we'll pick it up from one of the other disciplines, one of the other type of disciplines you have to develop, and how you can develop them. And until next time, my name is Rise Mike Godfrey. Of course, you can write questions to me. All right, you can send me your questions on WhatsApp 07032300590. It's a Nigerian dialing code, which is +234. All right, you can write to me at arisegodfrey@gmail.com. Next week, Thursday, we will continue our podcast on life in the university. Thank you and do have a great day ahead.